So, you just got scheduled for your C&P exam and you're feeling a little bit nervous. What's your game plan? Today, I'm sharing my top 5 tips to help you feel confident and ready to tackle your evaluation head on. Welcome back to the channel, folks. Dr. Sharma here, physician, board-certified psychiatrist, and Air Force veteran. If you're interested in veterans' mental health and benefits, hit those like and subscribe buttons. In this video, I'm arming you with practical tools to advocate for yourself at private contractor C&P exams. In my last video, I talked about the challenges with these private contractors, and many of you asked for more advice on how to actually handle your C&P exam. So let's jump right in. First and foremost, look at the C&P exam notice in detail. Look at the company, what condition it's for, and the provider's name. Google the provider and their NPI number. You can see if they're a physician, nurse practitioner, psychologist, or PA. You can see what specialty they are. The reason this is important is you can try to understand what level their expertise is at when it comes to your condition, how much credibility they'll get when writing your evaluation, and whether or not the contracting company actually assigned your case to the right type of examiner. Remember the term probative value. That's how much credibility an examination is assigned by the VA rater based on multiple factors, including the examiner's credentials. So if you're applying for, let's say, Crohn's disease, which is a GI condition, and you get assigned to a nurse practitioner who primarily does orthopedics, this is important for you to know so that you can advocate for yourself, especially in case the evaluation is not comprehensive and the claim doesn't go your way. Also, finding the provider's information lets you make sure they're actively licensed. Because yes, like I described in my last video, these private contractors have sent veterans to unlicensed providers and even providers actively under investigation by state medical boards. Second tip, look at the condition and DBQ assigned to the evaluation. Then go to the VA Public DBQs website and download the DBQ. So, for instance, if you're going in for an IBS examination, irritable bowel syndrome, go and download the Intestinal Conditions DBQ. Now, you can read over the entire document that the C&P examiner will be using, or I'll say should be using, during your evaluation. You can read over the questions, what the physical examination looks like, so that you can get a sense of what to expect at the evaluation. This will also let you know what questions the C&P examiner should be asking you and what areas of your body they should be examining. Now, I realize many veterans talk about how they went to their C&P exams and the evaluations were just a few minutes long or all the questions weren't asked. This is why knowing the DBQ is important and brings us to the third tip. You can write down your answers to the questions from the DBQ on a sheet of paper and take it with you. If the examiner asks you about the paper, you can explain why you have it. Maybe you get anxious when talking with doctors, so you bring along your notes just in case. Maybe you have issues with your memory, so you need a list with you. Whatever your reason is, you can tell them if they ask. When you're at the examination, if the C&P examiner asks you questions, of course, answer to the best of your ability. Feel free to use the notes that you have there as a reference. As always, be honest and truthful. Remember, if this exam is for a condition that hasn't been service-connected yet, you want to first discuss how your symptoms are related to service. So, if they started during military service, you want to discuss that. If the symptoms are related to one of your already service-connected conditions, you want to specify that as well. For instance, if you notice that every time you have intrusive memories, flashbacks, or anxiety from your service-connected PTSD, you then experience a migraine headache, and you notice that connection and correlation, you want to mention that during the exam. If the exam is for a condition that is already service-connected but got worse, you want to discuss the symptoms and how they've become worse over time, how it impacts you in your personal life and in your job. Don't worry about how it's related to service. If you start to see that the examiner is rushing you through, not asking the questions, you can start discussing your symptoms without being asked the questions. Again, this is why you brought the notes. Now, I realize this one isn't always possible. The examiner might tell you to stop talking and to only answer the questions that they ask. There's nothing you can do if that happens. Remember, you can only be yourself, tell the truth, and do the best you can. Also, remember to keep the answers concise and to the point. Stay focused on what the question is asking and stick to that. Don't give a long answer that goes around multiple topics and goes deep into the past to something that's not relevant. You just want to keep it to the topic and that's it. Now, if the C&P examiner shuts you down and does the exam in 5 or 10 minutes when it should be longer, don't worry. This is why I have the next tip. Fourth tip. After the C&P exam, no matter how you're feeling, you're going to jot down notes about your experience. You're going to go out to your car or a private area somewhere, or if it's telehealth, you're going to exit the visit on your computer and just sit down, write exactly what happened. How long was the exam? Did the examiner ask the questions on the DBQ that are required? Did the examiner allow you to answer fully? Where was the exam conducted? What were the conditions like in the office? Everything. Now, if you feel like the exam was rushed and inadequate, you're going to take those notes and create a memorandum detailing your experience. Then you're going to print it out, date it, and sign it. It'll become a part of the evidence should you need it in the future during a higher level review, supplemental claim, or appeal. Remember, during the exam, keep it calm and professional. No matter what, you will stay in control of your emotions. You're not going to get too irritated, angry, or anything like that. You're going to take some deep breaths before you go in and let your heart rate settle down. Tip number 5. Now this one is a bonus and might or might not apply to you. If you have a private DBQ and or independent medical opinion, also called a nexus letter, for your condition, you're going to give those physical documents to the C&P examiner. You're going to let them know that you did a comprehensive evaluation with this physician who did this independent medical opinion or DBQ, whatever examination, and that it might be of some help to them. You might be asking, what if your C&P exam is telehealth? Then you're going to contact the private contractor company ahead of time. So if it's QTC, VES, whoever, and ask them for the fax number for that provider. And you're going to fax the documents to them directly. Now, I realize that every C&P examiner will have a different reaction to this. Some veterans have told me that their C&P examiner happily took the documents and even used them as a reference and copied information because it saved them a lot of time. Other veterans have told me that their C&P examiner didn't really care about the documents and they set it aside or refused them. Remember, you can't control how the examiner responds. All you can do is do your best. But of course, you can document in your notes if the C&P examiner refused to look at the evidence. So those are the top 5 tips for when you go to a C&P exam from my perspective as a physician, board certified psychiatrist, Air Force veteran, and independent medical expert. Remember, I will keep giving advice about C&P exams and other topics on this channel like veterans mental health, VA disability benefits. So stay tuned and hit that alarm button on the channel so you can get notified whenever I upload. I hope this was helpful for you guys to take a deeper look at how to prepare for a C&P exam. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps and it tells me that I'm doing something right. Also, please drop a comment below about your thoughts on the topic, and if you have requests on what I should cover in the future, I'd be happy to make a video on it. As always, thanks for watching. Dr. Sharma signing off. See you next time.